Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I have the honor today to be with these three amazing women who are all going to be at the Awakening Summit in New York on April 25th and 26th. And we have the founder, Donna M. Ferreira, right here. We have Lisa Schermerhorn, who I've been to a few different events with and traveled in Miami area, or wait, no, the Florida area.
Sarasota.
Oh my God, Sarasota.
Other side.
Yes, other side. Hoping for Miami. And then we have Eden Cause, who we've done some interviews a couple years back now. And anyway, we're all going to be there, and we all have some stories to share. So with that, Donna, I guess we'll start with you. What is going on with this Awakening Summit? It sounds like it's really turning into something now. This is the second one. The first one is in October. So what should people know? Let's start there.
Well, the Awakening Summit is basically, in the words of awakening, which most people are very familiar with that term, right? It's almost everyone's awakening, we're awakening. What are we awakening up to? I think what we're awakening up to is the fact that on your news channels and social media, there's a lot of news coming out about arrests for people who have pedophilia issues, found missing children. I think that the fact that 300 and some children, I believe it was, that crossed the border, apparently, supposedly, haven't never been found. And I think that's the curiosity is, where did the kids go? Like, why are children missing in America? Why do we have missing children and no one's being accountable for it? So I think having the mixture of the panel coming with so many different angles, it all leads back to, in my opinion, why the children are missing. Because obviously, somebody's behind taking the kids. And I don't want to go into the gruesome details that unfortunately we're all aware of. But the fact that we're adults and we have responsibilities to take care and protect the children is the biggest point of the awakening, is to not have the audience who will be there and then see it afterwards. It'll run for quite a while. I think we're going to draw in so many people who want to take a stand as an adult and an American citizen, because America's a beautiful country. It's a beautiful country we live in. And New York is a primary city. It is the mixture of so many cultures, and we get along very nicely in New York. New York can get along with very mixed cultures. And I find when I talk about this, it's generally a lot of people who weren't born in America who are really well versed in what's going on. And I said, why, how is that? How is it that if you're not born in America, you really, really know about even satanic worshiping? I mean, they're freely flowing information to me. Or they know children that were abducted. They found little girls with their organs missing. So I feel that America has a lot of people who are aware of it, but a lot of people don't really want to discuss it. So the point of having the event is bringing in many different topics to open your mind and your curiosity, and with hope of, we have survivors who survived some horrible experiences. We have Laura Worley, and you have Sue, who works out in Suffolk County here in Long Island, who works for Long Island Trafficking, has tremendous stories. And it's right here in my home ground. We all have it. Every state has the same problem. It's not that it's just New York or just America. It's a global issue. Somebody has an appetite to take our kids. And the people, or whatever these creatures are that want our children, they don't care who you voted for. They don't care the color of their parents' skin. So with that, there's no prejudice. We want to pull the community together and maybe help other people do the same thing that I started with all the help from all of you. And we can be generously helpful to them and spread the word, grassroots. I think at this point, after the COVID situation, podcasts became like the way to communicate, and people are home, and God bless all that. But now we're at a different level. Now we got to get into the homeland. We have to go into the communities. And I feel like this is really a strong way to do that, to bring information, to be aware, preventative care. And then there's also newsworthy language, because I think it drops language so people get prepared to hear more about what's going on. I just For some reason, I think they use words like, let's use Epstein. He's been in the news for quite a while. Then they bring it out, some of the files, not all of it, some of it. And it's still not jarring up enough for people to say, well, what do you mean? Like, these girls were assaulted, they were underage, they were seduced, they were doing what? And then we don't have any arrests. So what does that say to people who want to come forward if our legal system here in America, which brings me back to why we don't know where the missing children went. So maybe there's something in our government, not that all, but maybe there are some people who are not allowing the truth to come out so that more survivors can speak about it.
Right.
So this is a very, very important event that we're having. And I feel that everyone that we connected with is a universal mission that we must have honored our commitment to do. We're all on the same page to make this happen. Everyone's learning different things, sharing and talking, but it all comes back around that there is a major change happening here in America, on the globe, and universally. Everything that we say and do affects every single one. And the goal is really to bring more attention into how do we have preventative care. We have to teach children as young as kindergarten to college, the teachers, the superintendents, not just in New York, but every state, and then spread it around the world. And I am extremely grateful for the warm-hearted, intelligent people who care to risk themselves publicly to talk about this, to come forward, because every single person that I've met, the bottom line is it was the kid's story that just ruined them, that just blew their minds away, that can't be true. I've been living in what kind of bubble? What do you say?
Yeah. One of the things that you talked about is you meet people from other countries. And how come they know? Because most of them have escaped this, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And so as Americans, we are sheltered and we are not told the truth. But if you talk to people from Venezuela who have escaped here, people from Cuba who have escaped come here, people from Iran who have come here, and all over the world, China, they recognize it immediately, especially when they see, visions of communism and socialism that start to poke through.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the other thing is, I want to tell you, for those people who don't know who's speaking, I got kind of unwittingly brought in, I want to say, was it 2020 or 2021? I met this amazing man, Kevin Hoyt, who introduced me to Lewis Herms, and I ended up as part of the Truth Tour early on, when all of this information was first coming out. And I remember scratching my head, like, how is this possible?
Right.
How can this be going on when,
Right.
all of us? And that's when I met Joe with TrueStream and Scott, and we met these amazing people, and a lot of people put their livelihoods on the line. Lewis Herms lost his business, lost everything to really get the word out. Laura Worley. I have a good friend, Liz, who was also trafficked. The more you dig and the more you ask, the more information starts to come out. But here's the other part, because you've got these amazing people like Brad Olson, if you've never, heard him, and Derek Johnson, these amazing names, Jan Halper Hayes. There's also, one of the things that I like to talk about is we are also the creator of our own realities. And so I like to bring the message of hope. And I know Eden is also, we're both work in the quantum world and in the healer, world. And yes, there's darkness that's happened. A lot of that is now on its way. Once the light hits it, it dissipates, right? So there's more and more awareness of it. And I think people need to know it's not all doom and gloom, that there's hope. And there are people who are going to be here, and community is everything. Because especially places like New York, I live in Vermont. You're talking about Bernie country. You're talking about, like, everyone around me is so far left and very progressive that you need community. And when you meet people of like minds and come together, it's like a reunion that you never had. So and what I mean by that is, like, when I met Joe and Scott, it was like I had known them my whole life. Same thing
Exactly.
with Eden.
Yes.
It's like they're my family, even though we don't
Yes.
live near each other. And when I'm with them, it's just amazing. So even though we're spread apart, I hope people in the Northeast, all of New England, the New York tri-state area, even DC, it's all drivable.
Yeah.
To come and see these amazing people who have put a lot on the line. This is going to be an amazing weekend.
On that note, Lisa, we have people who bought tickets from Canada, Rhode Island, Connecticut. I mean, and let's talk about like Chris O'Connor, who's coming. Now, that's an amazing man with an amazing story. When you meet him, you'll fall in love with him. I promise you, you will. Talk about survival stories. He's got a good
Wow.
one. He's coming all the way in from Honolulu.
Oh,
And you,
wow.
yeah,
Okay. I didn't know
yeah,
that.
yep. And this is dedication for a positive change. And every one of you have a very pleasant, loving disposition. No one has rage of anger. You know, we have to look at, and I don't really want to talk about uh, the division that's been planted here in America. You talk about being asleep. I mean, it's done on purpose. We know this. And that's why I think when I say the word, when the news drops a word, it's preparing the nation to hear more about what it is. It sort of breaks them and gets them prepared. Remember when we first learned about priests did horrible things to children at first? Remember everyone's shockwave happened, and now it's sort of like normal. It happens. Not that it's normal,
Right.
but this. I'm trying to say this is the way I think they provoke awakening, maybe the good guys that are in there, because I guess we need to have it that way. But I had this thought. So generally, I'm going to share it. They are breaking it in so slow, and it's almost an insult to the American people because the American people can handle anything you want to tell us. So they come around and they're dropping information very slow as if we are not capable of handling the truth. But we are extremely capable of handling the truth. The truth is definitely what will set us all free and bring us together as a unity. So we need to speak out more about stop dripping it so slow. We're an intelligent species. We're an intelligent bunch of people here in America and around the world, and we could start hearing the truth straight out. We can take it. We're better off handling the truth, direct it right at us, than to piecemeal it this way and have us one, then put the rest of the people back on a nap ride. Okay, so I think the truth needs to come out a lot stronger. Everyone has had heartaches, surprises that have happened to them, and you all survived. Okay? You have what it takes to survive anything that's going to come at you. Because really, the physicality of what we're sharing, we wanted to come in, we look and we are who we are. But your spirit, your whole being is never affected by any of this. So no matter what they want to tell us, bring it on. Bring it on, and let's get
Careful
this
with bring it on, let me tell you.
Can I tell you guys something that was so amazing? All right. So I currently live in Ohio. I've been telling my 21-year-old daughter, not when she was like 18 or whatever, what's going on, trying to get her to wake up. And she's like, Mom, you're nuts. You're crazy. So I just went to visit her recently. She's at the Ohio State University in Columbus, Ohio, which Columbus is where Les Wexner is. And so we were sitting in a coffee shop, and there was a flyer on the window that had devil horns on Epstein and on Les Wexner. The students there are trying to get his name taken off buildings. And again, we're talking about campuses, very programmed. But I was shocked. And I told my daughter, I'm like, see, this is what I've been talking about all these years. She's like, oh, okay. And I was like, girl, come on. So that just suddenly made me go, okay, things are changing.
Yeah.
It's dripping out on the main. If it comes out on the mainstream news, people will start to believe it.
Yeah,
it's just that because that's their only way of getting information. And so the more it comes out there, the more they will start to believe it. But, Eden, who's coming home, I'm so excited. She's a dear friend. She has some really extraordinary things that she does. And I want to hear more about what you're involved in now. This is really exciting news.
Wow. Okay. So I am currently in Ohio, but my plan is to move to New Mexico soon and purchase an Earthship. If you aren't familiar with those, they are off the grid. Electricity is provided through the home and water, so everything is free because I know we're moving towards that anyway. And I also want to take this Earthship and put sacredness in it, sacred geometry, therapy, sound therapy. So it is going to be, I get really excited even just talking about it. This place where I want to do retreats and have people come for healing. I also, and the big thing, we're going to talk about all the lies and the programming that has been immersed in our society. I just finished a Breatharian initiation in mid-March. I have not eaten solid food. I have to look at the date since March 15th.
Wow.
My plan soon is to eat only once a week. So what we've been taught about food and water, that is a lie. And I believe as we move into this golden age, and know that right now we're right in the polarity of everything, and just what Lisa said, we're coming to this point where we're going to have to see all the negative to get to the positive. But I believe this is the way of the future in terms of a crystalline body, in terms of sleep. Like now, only sleep 5 hours a night.
I know.
And when you think about not having to go to the grocery store, not having to prepare food anymore, you have like 4 or 5 extra hours a day just to be. And this is learning to live on your life force, prana. It is just a change. To me, there obviously seeing all the lies that have been told us, but this one was just one of those that just captivated me. And I had to learn how to do it, how to live differently. And I feel like I'm being reborn again.
So I have heard of yogis that have not
Yes.
eaten for years.
There,
But I'm curious, so do you have to go into, is this a meditative state, or you
No.
have to go, so there's no change in your life?
well, there's a big change. All right. So there are breatharians that are level 4. So there are a handful of people on this earth that do not eat or drink at all or go to the bathroom. I am studying, I guess you could say it, to be a level 3 breatharian, which I, after doing this retreat, went for 4 days without food or water. So science says after 3 days, you'll be dead. There were people there that went 5 days and 8 days as well with nothing. So before that, had to do a raw food diet for a week. Then we did a juice fast, water fast, then the days without water and eating. And then beyond that, that is the start of where I am right now, where just eating liquids every day and a modest portion. So it's not like I drink all the time. So it's clear juice and clear broth. And then we get to add a little bit more in there. So 2 months in doing that. Yet after the 2 months, I think you get to decide what you want to do with food. I am planning that I might need to do this for a year because I only want to eat once a week. That's my goal.
Wow. Can you define a breatharian? What does that exactly mean?
So breatharian basically means that you learn to live and get your nutrition on breathing and your life force and air versus food and water. Okay. And I don't know if you guys know that breakfast is a lie too. That was a whole marketing invention,
Right.
that we don't really need breakfast at all. So the gentleman that was the facilitator only eats once a week. And when you look at him, like for me now, the first 2 to 3 months, there will be some weight loss. Like I've experienced some, but everything should start to level out very soon. It is like taking the programming of food and all that water. You need to drink this much water a day. You don't. It's y'all. It's like I'm sitting here sometimes kind of wanting to pinch myself going, I am living what we were taught you can't do. I am doing it.
Right.
So I'm amazed. Not that I'm just amazed at myself, but this is just, when you think about starvation, when you think about the earth being utilized for agriculture, this could change everything.
So let me ask you the question, what is the difference when someone's starving to death versus someone who can live without food? Because that's kind of confusing to me.
I know it is. I think it's a mindset. Again, I think you have to be rebooted into this because there is such programming within the body. I need to eat this much. I need to get calories this way.
Right.
And what I understand from this too, when you go back to eating, it doesn't matter what you eat. So Ray, who was the facilitator, he was like, okay, I'm just going to experiment and eat cake. And that's all I'm going to eat for a while. Didn't matter at all. So what we've learned about you need to eat this many fruit and vegetables, it doesn't have to be.
Fascinating.
And let me add this. It's so amazing. And also in terms of exercise, like the way I'm going to start exercising and I'm doing now is going to be completely different than what I did before. So it's not, we've been taught to as like women, as you get older, you need to do, lifting weights. No, you don't. So I'm still on the verge of all of this because I can talk about it, but I'm much more of an experiencer as well.
Right,
so the more I experience and the more I see this for myself, the better I'll be able to talk about it because I like to be able to talk about it from a first person experience.
Right.
Yet this also, it can change the world, but it does take a strong person because I tell you right now, if someone laid a nice meal right in front of me, I'd be like, oh, that looks pretty good. Yet, I mean, I'm good right now. I like chewing would be nice, but if I keep going through this, and I have to tell you guys this too, the bathroom is really interesting. Okay, can I talk about this for a moment?
Sure.
I think you're on the right show for that.
Okay. So urination is typical, but I only do number 2. Probably so far it's been like once a week.
Well,
This
because you're
really
not
does go
you're not
against-
eating.
Yeah, this goes against everything that we've heard. Totally.
Yeah,
know.
totally.
So where do you,
what
do you go
about
to
the big-
Breatharian.com? Like, where do you find this information?
Well, it was really cool. So I'm with Lisa. I started a podcast 4 years ago because in Ohio, there aren't very many like minds. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go out and find people who,
Right.
are truthers who know what's going on. So I had someone on my show a couple months ago who mentioned Breatharianism. He's like, you know what that is, Eden? I'm like, no, I don't. And he told me about it. And there was just something like, Donna, you talked about your gut. There was something in my head because I'm a head person. In my head that went, you have to figure out what this is, you have to find, and you have to do it. And I just knew like there was something within me that also believes like in a past life or a parallel life, I did this before. So it just felt like it was just where I needed to go. And I went very quickly and signed up and here we go.
It's interesting because when we talk about in the quantum world and the healers and spiritual people that I know, there's a lot of talk about us moving from carbon-based bodies into crystalline. And one of the things that I've noticed, and we were talking about this before we went, when we started recording, is that I just spent 2 months in Mexico. And what I have found, what I can and cannot eat has changed drastically. Like my body is teaching me. And last year, like we would go out. I love to go out to eat. So this would be really hard for me because I love food. I love to travel the world. And the first thing I do is like, I can't wait to go to a restaurant. So I don't know how this would work for me. It could work for me. I don't know. But the one thing that I found, like out of the blue, because I love margaritas, like I would go out and have a margarita. And this year, when I was in Mexico again, I cannot drink alcohol anymore.
Yeah.
Like I get violently ill from it. And it doesn't matter if it's a glass of wine or if it's a margarita, whatever, my body cannot process it anymore. Like I've never had an issue with alcohol. Like it's just like a take it or leave it. I've gone years without drinking. And then sometimes I'll, go out on weekends and have a few drinks. It's never been that important, but when you suddenly can't have it, it was just a shock to my system. And I realizing like we are all shifting and changing. It's a frequency thing. So it makes sense to me, Eden, from the standpoint of frequency, because also when you eat meat, you are taking on the frequency of that animal and how it lived and how it died. If they die in fear and
Yeah.
anxiety, you're eating that.
Good
So
point.
there's a frequency. That's why you pray over your food. I pray over my water. I pray at every meal. I think, and I go into a state of gratitude because I need to raise the frequency of the food that I'm eating so that it'll match mine. And I ask that to match my frequency so that I can digest it. But I feel like we are all headed towards that way, Eden. And I
Yes.
really do. I think food will become less and less important. I think it's a mindset. Absolutely.
Definitely.
I would have to get away from my whole love of paella and
I-
enchiladas.
Okay, let me mention there are many folks that go through this process that just take their eating down. So it doesn't have to be like my goal is one day a week. It can be moving to one meal a day or moving to, every other day. So, and I agree. My spirituality in doing this, especially the 4 days without water, holy smokes. I had like this lucid dream experience where this huge starfish came over to me and I got to touch it. Then I had an octopus pucker my face. It was so beautiful. And, I see a lot of things across the veil anyway, but it was just different. So this to me is just an escalation. It's upping your vibration. Hopefully I have the statistic right that 85% of your body's energy is moving towards digestion. So when your body is not expending that energy on that, think of how much more. Like my focus has always been really good, yet it is just really good right now.
So the opposite of everything that we have been taught, when you think about your energy, you said is up, your focus, your concentration,
Yes.
all of that. That's so fascinating to me.
It is so great. And I would love to say my energy, my physical energy is back at 100%. It's not yet, but it's getting better every day. And I mean, that makes sense because I've made this totally huge shift in how I'm, energizing myself and trying to do yoga and breath work every morning now. Because I used to do it a good bit, but every morning. And I did CrossFit before this. I do not want to do that anymore because I don't feel that fits with my body. So yeah, I so appreciate you guys giving me this platform because I do feel this within this evolution that we are coming to. This is a magnificent portion of it.
Yeah.
Can I chime in here for a second?
Well, of course you can. You're going to anyway.
I know that's the New Yorker in me. In Japan, people are so well mannered and so courteous and so conscientious of the land they live on, and they don't make a lot of noise. It's a very peaceful. So once in a while, not often, but my family and I go away to a different land to take it all in, and I know that resonates with my children and spreading that curiosity of others and how you eat and live and yada yada. But you know what I was thinking about while you're talking about the concept of food?
Yeah.
Think about what we've learned. Let's just use the last 5 years. All the processed food that blew up the processed plant fire. There's bodies in your hamburgers. Think about all what's coming down the pipes through the news, literally through the news and through your social media. It's really talking about being aware of what's in the box or the can or the ready-made foods. It is the language of what you're bringing in that's been going on. This is a brand new concept, but it's feeding into maybe the processed food isn't good. Maybe the cruelty to animals affects us if we eat an animal that was the chickens or the cow, whatever. Or the water's poisoned, right? Everything is poisoned. All the food is poisoned. The air, the soil, you can't even buy potting soil. That's no good either. Anything to do with eating has been attacked or brought out. Think about this, right? And now you're sharing this information, and I try not to buy anything that's processed. I really do try not to, but it's really hard. I tried to grow my own vegetables and they had no flavor. Like, it must have been the seed. It must have been the soil. I mean, back in the day, you can eat a tomato and it's beautiful.
The chemtrails. I will tell you, when I was in Mexico, I tried to eat as much farm to table. Like, the restaurants only serve what's local. and
Right.
seafood where we were. So there was seafood every day, and they
Mm.
literally until it's fresh, and then they close their restaurants. My nails grew so long and were so hard. I'd never had that before, like how long my nails were. I get home and literally the next day they start chipping and breaking and
It's
Okay.
cracking.
wild. It's wild. It's
I
so
want to
true,
add
though.
this,
The
you guys.
toxins. Yeah.
Yeah, I had, even though I try to eat very cleanly, I had still been getting stomach aches like once to twice, at least a week. So there was a part of me like that I was kind of done with food. I'm done with the chemtrails. I'm done with the toxification. I'm done with them putting crap in the foods. I want to be free of that. So again, this is moving, I feel, towards this sovereignty where suddenly I'm not reliant on the grocery store. I'm not, well, I still am a little bit, but I just want to move as much as I can where I can't be poisoned. I can't be hurt. I can't be touched. Because yeah, y'all are making really good points. And part of me was like, I think I was at the point where I was also, I'm willing to give this up because a lot of it is just hurting me and not making me feel that great.
And look how many people have all these gluten-free
Oh,
and Graves' disease
It's
and
all
digestive
glyphosate.
problems. I mean, it's
It's-
like it's a pandemic in America.
Yeah.
I could say hello to one person, the next person has a stomach issue. Like it's what we're digesting in
I-
our bodies,
I
right?
can't even imagine owning a restaurant these days with
Oh.
all the allergies. And that was
Yeah.
unheard of growing up. I mean, maybe you had one or two kids that had a peanut butter allergy. It was really unheard of.
Right.
And now it's like you go in, it's like gluten this and dairy that and
Right.
all of these things. And if you look at what's been pumped into our food supply, so yes. And you must be detoxifying Eden, like in a way, like it's all leaving your body.
girl, I was at dinner, which is funny with me, and I had my little juice there, and with 3 other people, and they all had sniffles and colds. And I feel right now that nothing will permeate my immune system because there's very like I am free and clear, like I am here. There's nothing masking anything, and I feel that food right now, so much of it is poison. So if we can remove ourselves, like you said, even if you have your own garden with the chemtrails and everything that's in the air, yeah, I just feel good. I feel good.
Wow.
Great.
Wow, this is amazing. And it's so interesting because Joe, the first thing that comes to mind is you just did a whole month with your mother.
Right. And I've been thinking about that. Yeah. And it was at Waymar. It was vegan, Seventh-day Adventist, based on the Bible. And the one thing is with it, and God bless them, but they look at things in a very specific way. And, I'm always looking at, okay, that's great. We've learned about that. But what about new technology? What about the future? What about, different things that we're learning? And so as Eden's talking about the water, what they would say, if someone's 200 pounds, they should be drinking 100 ounces of water per day. And so I'm just, and it's hard to be a vegan. It's almost like you go in, and not to discount from Waymar because it can work for people, but you go in, and we didn't really dig into it too much because I didn't want a lot of excuses because we were kind of in an emergency mode for my mother.
Oh.
Someone threw us the lifeline. We went down there, and it was an 18-day program. And at the end, I think their goal is to get you more familiar with the Bible, to possibly become a Seventh-day Adventist, which, my family's not going to go that direction, and to be a vegan. And I think the choice of being a vegan and the choice to go into a new religion, if you will, that's a lot to, because you can create a new habit within a few weeks. But to be a vegan, you would have to, I think, knowingly choose to go that route. So what's interesting about bringing Eden onto this show is that I'm curious. So instead of the drinking of the water of 100 ounces per day, what would be some of the protocol walk us through what one would do and how much you would do that, whether it's meditating or sun or what have you. What does the person do for that?
And what about someone who's diabetic? What about someone who has to, has blood sugar issues or has to keep
Good point.
Food up? I'm just curious if they cover that at all.
Yeah.
That's a really good question. So Ray is going to be on my show. He was the facilitator. He'll be on there in like 2 weeks. Okay. So he is more of the expert with this. He's been a Breatharian for, I think, over 10 years.
Oh.
Yeah. He's done many initiations, many classes. It was funny. He basically said, no one's ever died in coming here before. So I don't know all types of people that have come to him, because I don't think I'm going to be the one to initiate people into this. I'm just going to be the one to talk about it, because I see myself as being kind of a new earth specialist in terms of mindset, in terms of food, everything comprehensively being my bag, where I'm hoping to partner with Ray where he can initiate people into things. But I think it's like when we were there, during the process, there was a day where it was silence. So there was no food, no water, and silence within that. So a lot of meditating, a lot of healing. And that's the kind of work that I do on top of everything. So I just feel that again, diabetes I'm thinking this can eradicate so many food challenges or eating challenges. Yeah, those are great questions. I'm not sure of those. I will ask Ray that question.
Yeah.
How's about?
Right. No, it's so fascinating because, this is what I love about the truther community. And I say this with a huge amount of love because I spoke with Dr. Christian Northrup and Kevin Hoyt in Maine. And we're talking about everything. And then all of a sudden, Christian Northrup starts to talk about extraterrestrials. Now, this was 3 years ago. And then Kevin starts to go in about reptilians. And then I chimed in. And one of the things that's so amazing about this group is that they're open. Like, people may agree or disagree. It doesn't matter. They're like, okay, I want to hear what you have to say. And then I'll either take it or not, or maybe a year from now that will resonate with me.
Right. The seed's planted.
But what I see with this group of people when I meet them, that what the community does is it creates opportunity to just plant a seed.
Yeah.
So you may not be ready for something that Eden's doing, but I may be a year from now. Mm-hmm. I may not, but I honor and respect her for her reasons why. And this is why community is so important, because when we go to these kinds of events that we have going on in New York, I'm watching, New York City die a slow death of all the companies with the New York Stock Exchange is leaving for Texas.
Oh, I don't even know if I knew that.
I didn't know that.
I heard that.
Yeah, they are leaving for Texas. So let me tell you, I grew up in New Jersey on the Jersey Shore. Okay. Greenwich, Fairfield County, New York City, Westchester, all of northern New Jersey, central New Jersey, that whole area, all commuted to New York. Right. You want to talk about the amount of money that is about to leave.
Wow.
Is mind-blowing. Mind-blowing.
When did you first hear that news?
I saw it on a show yesterday.
Okay, so this is recent.
Yeah, they're talking about.
But actually, it was mentioned a while ago.
It's been in process. Yes, it's been in process, and the new tax situation with Mom Donna has escalated things to a point where, because they're like, when I lived there 20 years ago. My ex-husband was commuting to Wall Street. So not only we had New Jersey property tax, we had state tax. Then if you commuted to New York, you got taxed in New York, and then there was a city tax.
Yeah.
And the amount of that they took from his paycheck was insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
Insane.
Exactly.
And this was back then. And I remember we moved to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He got a big job offer there. And New York came after us for the annual salary, even though he only worked there for 6 months. They wanted to tax his entire paycheck for the year. So this has been going on a long time. And so between the taxes and the cost of living and commuting, I mean, I worked in New York City in the garment center for many years. It was an hour and a half in and 2 hours home. Ooh. You're exhausted. Ugh. It like sucked the life out of you. So, I love the way like everything's moving to quality of life. Mm-hmm. And in the quantum realm, which Eden is obviously living in that quantum realm and a living example of that, is also teaching people how to manifest and how to create your own reality. I manifest like crazy.
Right.
Like insane, the things that happen to me. It's like never ceases to amaze me, right. and I just thought about this I had the opportunity to go back to Mexico again. Something manifested. It was amazing. And I was sad that I was leaving, and I started to go in like, this is the end of my adventure. And I changed my mindset. Right. And I said, on to the next adventure. And then boom, I got asked to speak in Prague this summer. Great. So it's like, it's your mindset. So yes, it's important to become educated on what's happened in the past, where we're going, and then also the future of where we need to go and changing our thought processes. Right. Because we need to be more hopeful now. We need to look to the future of what our new life is about to become, because our whole system is crumbling.
Yeah.
And we need community to help each other through this crumbling and dismantling of the old system, because the new system is going to be all about community. Eden is right there. And I know someone who 20 years ago was talking about those spaceships. She showed the Earthship. She was showing me pictures of it. She bought land out there. Yeah. And so she was an amazing shaman. I studied with her for 3 years. Wow. So this is all been talked about and coming to fruition about the idea of coming together and sharing and being in community and kindness.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's E. Smitty here. What if everything that you've been told isn't the full story? What if the truth about our world, our freedom, and our future has been right in front of us, waiting to be uncovered? I want you guys to come out and join us for the Awakening Summit, a powerful 2-day event from April 25th to the 26th at the Elks Lodge in Limbrook, New York. We're centered around 3 words: truth, freedom, and future. This is not your typical conference. Okay, we're bringing together fearless thought leaders, researchers, and truth seekers from across the globe, delivering unfiltered perspectives on the issues shaping our world right now. We're going to dive into real conversations, okay? Geopolitics, military law, human rights, child trafficking, medical freedom, the evolving financial system, and precious metals. And we're going to have a bold conversation on the importance of strong, grounded leadership, including the vital role alpha males play in restoring our strength, stability, and direction in our society. You're going to hear from the most renowned speakers, including Derek Johnson, Dr. Jan Halper-Hayes, Patrick Gunnels, Kerry Cassidy, Dave from News Treason, Louis Herms, Brad Olson, Lisa Schermerhorn, Laura Worley, Joan Scott from TrueStream, Matt Geiger of Verity Metals, Chris O'Connor, Sue Lingenfelter, Light Warrior Patriot Cat, Joe Rambo, and Elisa V and Stu from Patriots Across the Pond. If you are ready to question and connect the dots and stand alongside others who are seeking the truth, then this is the time, this is the moment. You can get your tickets right now at www.theawakeningsummit.org. We have sponsorship opportunities, and we're looking forward to seeing you on April 25th and 26th in Limbrook, New York. Okay? Truth, freedom, future. Are you ready to wake up? I am.
Right. Well, this
Kindness.
show is a perfect example of that, because even, Lisa and Honey have been a big part of Scott and I's manifestation and creating, new contacts. Because there was a time it was very challenging for Scott and I to, not that we were going to stop Truth Stream, but it's just a lot of work, and you got to make something. And then through Lewis Herms, we've met. We met Lisa, and then we met Matt Geiger, and now Matt Geiger is a big part of the Awakening Summit. And I met Donna and Elisa, about in the last year. And then I thought, well, maybe I could help with, the next Awakening Summit. And so it's great because I wanted to do live events for a long time. And now we're bringing Eden in, and because we met. In fact, Lisa's going to love this story.
Crazy.
Eden it was a couple years ago, and she did a reading with me. And this is where I found out, I don't know if she remembers the specifics on this, but this is where I found out, I believe I had a life where I didn't have arms. And I think that's why I appreciate just playing rhythm guitar so much. And I haven't really gotten into leads all that much, because I just love strumming and kind of going into, wherever it is I go when I do music. But she also told me, and I don't know if Scott fully knows this, that in a different lifetime that Scott was my daughter.
Yep. Now that one I do remember.
Okay, then.
There you go.
All right.
I love it. I
See, I
love
believe
it.
all
so
that.
much
See, I
sense,
believe
Lisa?
you rekindled this time with your past, and it all works together. Like we could have been brothers and sisters or whatever.
We all are soul family.
Yeah,
And that's
exactly.
it, that people need to understand. Like, a lot of people who are out there right now too, who have put themselves out there, often don't feel connected to their own biological families.
Oh, yeah.
And we were planted all around the country because we were planting seeds, and our energy needed to be planted.
Yeah.
So at a soul level, we were put into these families to experience what we needed to do. And now it's time for us to come together. It's time for us, because as everything's changed, we are all about to become very abundant. Between silver and the cryptocurrency and everything else that's about to happen.
Right.
I'm a firm believer in this. We were not meant to have to pay for a planet that we were born on.
Right.
Right.
Well, Alex Collier,
Yes.
you heard him say that?
Yes.
Yep.
He said, what kind, how are you living on that planet? It's your planet. Why are you paying to live there?
Exactly. And not only that, we get taxed so high. I mean, and then I know Michael Jaco just did a show talking about the school bonds and how our taxes, the property taxes, and how that's all illegal. So slowly, all of our taxes and all of this is about to go away. Everything is being exposed. It's a really exciting, amazing time. All of these children are all being found. They are, I just saw something because my son just moved to Minnesota. Of course, he goes from Chicago to Minneapolis. I'm like, where are you going? So I was following the news in Minneapolis. They just found something like, I don't know, $100 million or $82 million from the police station. They arrested half of the police officers there.
I didn't even hear that. When did you hear that story?
They arrested, it was like 82 police officers in Minneapolis.
Was
because
this today?
they were,
When did you hear about it?
last week.
Oh,
They
my
were
God.
running a drug ring there.
That's
And
why
they-
this is taking so long. They got to allow
They
all
have
this
to
stuff
get them.
to happen.
So they found fentanyl, and they found methamphetamines, like tons of it. From the captain of the police department was running it. So when you look at the corruption of the judges being paid off, the police being paid off, and they're part of the rings. So people want to be paid, people are impatient, but we have to understand how deep this goes.
Right.
The amount of corruption, they have to find all of these people and then catch them.
Yeah, you
document
can't
everything,
catch the bank robber before they
and then
steal it.
arrest them all and then put them into jail.
Wow.
It's
Wow.
insane. So if you look at the whole, Tim Waltz and Ilhan Omar, I mean, it's the same thing. And if you look in Vermont, and Vermont is only 600,000 people, but the amount of corruption, because we're on the Canadian border, so they have the child trafficking that's going across the border. We have a massive lake there that they could run, things underwater. There's a lot that has been uncovered with trafficking as well. I think if you do a deep dive in every state, you're going to find it.
100%.
And Ohio as well. They found things, and Les Wexner. So, I remember 11 years ago, I was at a conference and I met this guy who was wide awake. 9/11 woke him up. And he said to me, now living in New Jersey, I had a lot of friends who worked at Ground Zero. And my ex-husband was there the first time in 93 when they tried to blow it up the first time.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of connection to that area. So this guy said to me, 9/11 was an inside job. And I stood up and I told them to go F off. And I turned around and walked away because I wasn't ready to hear it.
Right.
And it wasn't until years later. And that's why it's important that people have the patience and love. Michael Jaco talks about the love bubble and sending love.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we end the divisiveness. We also have a lot of NPCs, non-player characters. If people aren't, they're bodies without souls per se. They're running on loop and programs. They're space holders that are not going to be around much longer. So if you see people who are on these loops, you're not going to be able to connect to them.
Right.
They don't have it.
Right.
And so there's a lot of people who are going to disappear. We're going to lose a lot of people.
On that note, Lisa, you spoke about my family. We're close. I'm very fortunate, but they're not. They wish me the best of luck. How's that?
Get you there.
Mom, I wish you the best. Good for you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, when you realize that the innocents are being attacked and the alpha men in America have been attacked, and look what they've done to women. Just look at your surroundings. Look at the nuclear family.
Yeah.
There's so many things to talk about.
Yeah.
It's insane.
That's all coming back. And I want to tell you, I watched the Melania movie the day it came out. And
So did I.
I'm in the process of watching the Love Story, the Kennedy.
Oh.
So here's the interesting thing, and I'm going to be doing a show on this with Honey, the divine feminine. So Carolyn Bessette Kennedy and Melania are the examples of divine feminine. Mm-hmm. They hold their energy. They're powerful women. They know who they are, but they're not female versions of men. It's a very different energy.
Right.
Right. And so the divine masculine and the divine feminine have been distorted
100%.
over millennia.
Yeah.
And so I had friends who said to me, I don't like being feminine because it's weak. That's the shadow. Right. But when you see a Melania, or you see a Carolyn Bessette, Kennedy, they are not weak. Oh my God, no. They stand in their power, but they also possess the feminine. And so I've really sat with that because I have a new granddaughter who is going to be raised in that divine feminine.
Right.
100%.
Oh, and y'all, I have to add to this. I started I call it my 5D relationship. We're at a year and a month now.
That's right. You're still together?
It's been still together. So he went on the retreat with me. He's not eating just like me.
Wow.
It's been such an interesting, exploring the divine masculine and the divine feminine and he's someone that I would normally never be attracted to. Let's call it that way. But I took this journey going towards the heart, and he just lost 20 pounds on this experience. So he's lost probably 50 pounds since I met him.
Wow.
And it was a total redo, because typically I would have gone for a corporate guy. He's a carpenter, construction worker. Like, I also understand that men who are in that field and musicians, that those are the people that are really going to be blossoming through this. And just attaching to him in a way that he's changed so dramatically.
Beautiful.
And it was because I didn't look at him the same way. I came in at a very feminine approach, and just really allowing his masculine. It's just been mind blowing. So I'd love to talk about that some too, because I really
Well, you and I talked about that when you were just starting the relationship.
Yeah, a couple months
ago.
old,
Show about the divine masculine, divine feminine, and where that's headed, and the difference between that and the conventional roles of what we've been taught, and how men have been emasculated and women have been told, you don't need a man, you can do everything. And let me tell you something. I've been on my own for 10 years. I'm exhausted. I am doing everything. I'm having a ball. I mean, I don't feel like I need anyone.
Right. Yes.
But there are certain things that men know how to do that women just don't. Like, their brains are different. And the same thing with women. And so, yeah, that's very cool.
Well, and what I love having is not the same thing with you, Lisa. I don't need this relationship, which makes it even better. But having a protector, like someone who really, because my former, I was in a marriage for 25 years. He didn't really believe in what I did, for lack of a better term. Yeah. This gentleman does. He stands up for me. It's like having this person who's got my back for the first time. And it's so nice. I can't, women, it is so nice.
How did you guys meet? If you don't mind my asking.
Okay.
He had a leak in her roof, and this carpenter came by, right?
Okay. No. All right. So I had, for 5 years after the divorce, really healed on my own, moving from narcissism, really did some self-love and went through all that process. And I finally decided, okay, I'm kind of ready. So I figured I'd go on Bumble, of all things, the dating site, for a week. Wow. Just to put myself out there, just to get the energy flowing, and then I'd stop. He was the first person I talked to on Bumble. Turns out he's 4 minutes from my house.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And so when we met, like when he and I were talking, I'm like, we have to meet because I don't do multiple people. Let's just see if we're going anywhere. We met at a coffee spot, and I was like, okay, I'd like to go out to dinner. And he was, I remember we left the coffee shop, and I said that, and he goes, you would? Because I don't look like someone that would normally hook up with him either. So I think he was like, okay. So started from there. And I also, for ladies, very, very slow. I took things because also merging, I believe, sexually with somebody, especially in this time, when you merge, your energies come together. So I went very slow with that. And it was so funny because he's divorced as well. So he was like, hey, we're both in our 50s. What's the big deal? I'm like, nope. After a month, nope.
But you know what? There's something really special about courting. And it's a very funny story, but there's a guy that I dated for several months, and I had gone to this healing center, and I was going through this process, and I was told when
it's not Mel Carmine, people.
No, I was told that I couldn't have pepper or spicy food, drink alcohol, or have intimate relations for 3 months after I came back. Oh. And of course, what do I do as soon as I get back? Go on a date. And the coolest thing was they were like, oh, when are the 3 months up? Like it changed. Instead of focusing on the sex part, you focus on getting to know each other, because the whole dating part has now changed. Like, I watch these kids and they have sex first and then they get to know each other.
Yeah, that's not the best way to do
it. That was a planned attack on our
No, because the energy gets all melded and confused.
And when
you
you
have
sleep
respect
with
for
someone,
your body is not precious.
Energetically,
it's a gift to share and to be intimate, and is pride in yourself. And the narrative in America was just rip the baby out of the body, You don't want to get rid of it. Have sex, don't have sex, have oral sex. Teach little 12-year-olds and 15-year-olds, don't have intercourse, but have oral sex.
Oh,
And the
we
way
don't
they
need to go
seduce
into
our
that because
children, it's
I thought I
just,
lost my kids were impacted. That was the generation with the whole having to explain what, what that was. And
right.
it really changed the dynamic
It's
of
terrible.
dating in our
Yes.
society. And it's sad. But
Hmm.
I think it's when you have sex with someone, you're actually energetically
Yeah.
having sex with everyone that they've ever had sex with.
Sure.
Right.
100%.
That's what you're doing. And so if people really understood energetically what you're bringing together, it's sacred. And
Mhm.
so keep it sacred.
Yes.
Well,
And
that really brings us to the awareness of the 40-year dismantlement of respect and good manners. So
yes.
what do you think happened here? Let's bring in the women lib because women were never respected. They
Right.
they were so abused.
Yeah.
And so let's bring in women's lib. Let's go braless. Let men have sex with anyone. Men can't. I'm not Joe, close your ears. But what I'm saying is that for guys, wow. I don't even have to take her out for coffee. We're just going to go have sex. And if you get pregnant, get rid of it. Who wants to get married? Who wants to have children? Men
No,
aren't
it
important.
was a conscious effort to
A
destroy
hundred
the
percent.
family.
But
No,
now
absolutely.
this conversation, us and our whole panel and everybody, we miss it. We realize we lived through it. We're an adult age where we saw the change happen. We saw so many 40, 30, 20-year olds. They're all they want to be married. All of this power struggle going on, all this misleading information, generations of broken families and fathers and mothers confused. I mean, they were brilliant. Their narrative was brilliant. They got what they wanted. But hey, we're here to bring awareness in
We're
and
here to
say,
bring it back.
no more, no more. You are very precious and you are very loved. And men and women are two completely different species.
Yeah.
I they're completely different species under the realm of being human. And we operate completely different. And it takes a long time to get to know each other. And what were you fed? What is your fantasy, your imagination of being loved? Like,
Right.
we
Oh, and all the
project all
Disney
of this
fairy
and
tales,
expect all this
The,
weirdness.
the
It's
whole
so out of control.
Yeah,
the
the
whole
whole Disney
programming.
fairy tale. But getting back to, because I can't believe it's gone so fast. We're up to an hour
Oh my
already.
God, we are.
But I don't know if you have on there how people can. Oh yeah, awakeningsummit.org. Please come. We really want to meet you. It's going to be amazing cast, and I don't know, Joe, if you want to go through. I know Derek Johnson is going to be there, Brad Olson, Carrie Cassidy, Jan Halper Hayes, who's amazing.
Yes. For some reason I jumped on my Firefox and I have to be on Microsoft Edge. So talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to jump out and jump back in. I
Okay.
think I shouldn't be able
Oh,
to.
you won't. This won't go down.
Oh, let's find out. I'll add myself. I'm going to mute myself first of all.
Okay.
We're also having Dave from News Treason and
Yeah.
Joe Rambo.
Yeah.
Don't forget Louis Herms, and that's an amazing man who's really bringing attention to what's going on. God bless him, right?
Yes.
And we have Chris O'Connor, and we have Lightworker Cat, who's going to be talking. Who else? When Stu and Elisa, they'll be the MCs,
And
from across the
Stu's coming
pond.
from the UK, right?
Yes, he
Yeah.
is. Yes. And we have Sue Lindenfelter. She's the lady who works with the Long Island trafficking out in Suffolk County. So she's the lady that's coming in to talk about that. And, I did meet, like I like to meet everyone that's coming on the show a little bit before the show. And I met with Derek Johnson. And I'm telling you, I told him, you're not going to be very proud of me. In fact, you might be quite disappointed in how much of the Constitution I truly don't know. And I don't think any students underneath me really know the Constitution either. So, your stance in the Constitution and military law is just so vitally important.
It is.
And I respect you so much for being grounded and in your position to constantly put it out there. Like when you see the narratives on television and then Derek walks you through the military law, it can really open up someone's narrative of how they're thinking. Like, wait a minute, that's not it. That's what that meant. And then they can do all the research they want, and it's fact finding. So he's really an important speaker as well.
Now, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. It's April 25th and 26th. And I love meeting new people. I love connecting to our family.
Mm-hmm.
It is our soul family.
And it's going to be in Lynbrook, which is like really, really close to Kennedy Airport. So you could take the Long Island Railroad in, you could take a flight in. We're very accessible. So it's not far out. It's not out of the way. And it's going to be beautiful for everyone to be together, to be in like-mindedness. And the energy in the room will be so intense.
Yes.
I mean, it's going to be amazing.
I know. I'm really, really excited. Okay, you got the
So
link up there?
can one of you? So I jumped in, but on the other thing, there's logging. Can one of you jump into the private chat? Can either you, Lisa, or Eden share it? You should be able to share it from your screen. I think theawakeningsummit.org. Try and share it, and then I'll allow you to share the screen if you can.
All right, just click on the studio chat.
Oh,
What's
wait,
that?
I just went
Is that
to.
going?
I don't understand where you want me to share it.
Oh, so if
Can you text him?
So
I
for
just clicked
some
on it.
reason, the browser that I'm in doesn't allow me, and it can get really complicated. I should have just started with the proper browser. So have either of you shared anything on StreamYard before?
No, I don't use StreamYard.
Okay. All right. Well, it could be
Maybe
really
he can
complex.
correct
My
that when he,
apologies for not being on that proper browser. I've just had a bit going on today, obviously. So yeah, theawakeningsummit.org has everything on it. All the people that are coming.
We're going to have some time to sit and mingle too and get to know one another, which is going to be lovely, lining up some dinners. And I can't wait to meet and talk to the people who bought tickets, because anyone who's purchasing tickets, and there are so many, are really, really on the same quest of wanting to know more and to share it. And, think about it. You're so alone when you get into discovering or being curious about what you're hearing and feeling. And it's going to be so nice to be sitting next to someone who's so similar. It lightens you up, it fills you up, it confirms your purpose. And there's a lot of hope coming in. There's a lot of change, and it's needed. But I think having resources and a familiar person, and someone, maybe they exchange phone numbers, and like, wow, I haven't spoken to somebody like this in 3 years. And this is fantastic. I have a new friend. It'd be great.
Right. Well, I can pull up the two thumbnails. One, we did a show with Derek Johnson today. So this one there it is. There's Elisa and Stu at the top, Derek Johnson, Carrie Cassidy, Lewis Herms, Dr. Jan Helper Hayes. Hopefully sometimes she's hard to get a hold of, and she's still coming. Myself, Brad Olson, Scott, Lisa Schermerhorn, Matt Geiger, Laura Worley, Mark Abrahams from Fake News New York, or Fake News 7 New York, and News Treason, Patrick Gunnels, Chris O'Connor, Sue Lagenfelter, if I said that correctly. It's a bit small on the font here. Light Warrior Patriot, Joe Rambo, and Dave from News Treason are coming. And then this is, that's where it is, April 25th and 26th in Lynbrook, New York. Tickets and more info at theawakeningsummit.org. So I was able to do the elevator pitch version of it.
Well, it was perfect.
Is there a hotel that y'all are recommending people to stay?
We're going to be staying at the Allegra Hotel in Long Beach. You'll get that information. We'll send you everything you need.
Oh, awesome.
And it's right on the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean. There's a huge boardwalk. So you're going to have the energy and the frequency of the ocean, and very grounding and beautiful there. And we'll have some lounge time to relax in between.
Yeah.
And we'll see if we can't get, maybe, I think we can be able to get Eden on stage.
So are we not supposed to hear Joe? I mean, I don't know.
Whoop, whoop. Even like you said, Joe, even if it's only for 5 minutes. And let me add with you guys the energy. We had huge changes in March. Edgar Casey, there was a switch with the heart and the mind. So we are coming at this in end of April, and knowing that we are just poised and ready to awaken people, to expand people's hearts and minds. It's just an exciting time. I know there's some tough stuff we're going to be talking about, but there's some really amazing stuff that's coming out of all this, just like what you
Plus,
said.
if you want to hear Joe sing, that's worth the whole thing. He sings
I don't even know
favorite
what.
song.
I'll have to bring a guitar then.
Yes, you do.
Why can't we hear him?
Especially since you didn't have arms in a past life, you gotta do it.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
You know what you just
He's got
reminded
to
me
bring his
of?
guitar.
You know the Saturday Night Live thing when Kristen Wiig did a skit and she had these tiny hands?
Oh.
Tiny hands.
Oh. Oh.
Oh God, that's funny.
Okay.
I'm so glad that Eden reached
Well,
out.
so what are you gonna
fit.
be? You gonna bring your little drinks with you, Eden?
Yeah, I'll be prepared with my little drinks. Yeah, so we all be having dinner and I'll have my little juice right there. And this will be good for me too. Like really part of it is going out to eat with people and being socially okay and smelling food and still being
Right.
good and being a part of everything. So this will be a great I don't want to say test for me, but just to be really in that environment, it'll be good.
Have you been to an in-person event?
I'm looking forward to meeting all of you in person for sure.
Yeah.
And I know Elisa and Stu are just as anxious.
Oh, wow.
Right. Am I coming through still?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I can't hear. I can't hear.
Oh,
Joe.
you can't hear. Okay. So Lisa and Eden have met before, but it's been a while, correct?
Yeah.
Was that
So
2
we met
years?
in Ohio and then we did a Flora event together.
Okay.
Speaking event.
That's right. We were in
Tampa?
Florida together.
Yeah.
That was Tampa. That was in
That's really
between, what was it, in between Milton, the hurricanes?
Oh, I was
Right.
supposed to be
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
You were. Yes. Yes. I was so disappointed that you
Okay.
weren't going to be there because I was going to get to meet you.
Okay, that makes more sense now. I'm just so excited.
So we're all
This
going to
is
meet in New York then.
awesome. Lisa, you wrap up the show because I don't know if Donna can hear me. So
Oh, okay. No, I'm excited for this. And if you've had fun listening to what we've had to say and some of these really fantastic, crazy conversations, you're not going to have these conversations with all your friends. If you want to go on, I mean, we've got people who are involved in extraterrestrial, Carrie Cassidy, secret space program. You've got some really remarkable people. We're going to hit every topic. So I'm really excited for all of you to come and expand your mind. And even if it doesn't resonate with you, it's a seed that gets planted and we're going to have some amazing community together. So, and I can't wait to see you guys in person again.
Oh, me too. I
Awesome.
just want to put a shout out to Brad Olson and thank him for all his research with Antarctica because I think the subject of hiding our land from us is a fascinating subject as well.
Yeah.
And Brad will be live on my show the week of the conference. So check him out.
Wow.
Yeah. So neat.
So
That's
cool.
great.
So real quick to go around TruthStream, you just go to Linktree. It's right under my name. That's TruthStream. Lisa, where can they find you? Then Eden, and then Donna, where can they find the information?
So my website is Lisa Mindset because Schermerhorn is a pain in the neck to spell. And you can find me on YouTube. Please go to my YouTube, and I have a Rumble channel, Where Truth Lies. And I've got some amazing interviews there, and looking forward to seeing everyone at in Lynbrook.
Perfect. Eden?
Well, I
Nice.
look forward to seeing everyone. Thank you so much for having us on, Lisa. Joe,
Thank
for putting it
you.
together. And Eden, it was so nice to meet you.
Thank you. Let me give a shout out too. So my website, which is going to be changing, is edenjustbe.com. And then my podcast, it's on Rumble, BitChute as well. But yeah, YouTube is easy. If you just want to go to YouTube and search for Just Be LLC, it's Spiritual Boom. And all of you guys have been on there except you, Donna.
Well, I'm going to be going on right after this, okay?
There you go.
All right. Well, that's
Thank
everything
you.
for now. We're stoked for this event in New York. And if we can make it there, we can make it anywhere. All right, everybody. Talk to you later. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Water sustains life. But what if it could do more than hydrate? What if it could deliver light directly into the body? Introducing the LifeWave X2O water technology system, the first and only water technology system that infuses water with light. LifeWave X2O is a category-defining technology that transforms how we experience water through the power of light. Using patented light infusion technology, it energizes every drop of water you drink, releasing light into the body and making it available internally in a way never before possible. Every drop is transformed before it reaches your glass. The result is hydration optimized at the cellular level, supporting metabolism and nutrient absorption, supporting bioelectrical activity, energy levels, and circulation, enhancing wellness and vitality. For many, the impact feels immediate, results in seconds, helping to optimize key physiological functions, with some reporting effects occurring within seconds of consumption. And through hydrogen infusion, delivering antioxidant properties that support the body's natural defenses. When hydration works at the cellular level, you feel it where it matters, in how you move, in how you perform, and in how you recover. Designed to amplify the benefits of LifeWave's non-transdermal patches and Cellergize supplements, it becomes a powerful part of your daily wellness routine. You drink it, you feel it. A new era in cellular hydration, powered by light. LifeWave X2O.